Hey, what's going on, folks? Kurt Corley here, talking about fundamentals of marksmanship for life. In other words, we've been talking about taking fundamentals that we apply to marksmanship and taking those fundamentals and applying them to our everyday life. So today we're talking about positive target identification. As I was thinking about this topic, I started thinking about when I went through basic training. And we got to the basic rifle marksmanship phase of basic training, and we got down to the range, and things were going real well for me. And I got zeroed on 25-meter range within 9 rounds, and had a nice tight shot group, was dead on, and then moved down to the pop-up range, the target range. And that's where things kind of fell apart, and all of a sudden, I wasn't able to qualify. They gave me 40 rounds, and I didn't even qualify. Trying to figure out what's going on. Of course, my drill sergeant's there with all of his encouragement to try and help me, and they give me another 40 rounds, and I didn't qualify again. And so, he's using every tool in his kit bag, which consisted of two things. One, denigrating my ancestry and my future progeny, and the other being to commence hitting me in the head or the Kevlar with a range paddle, telling me to aim center mass. And that was the two tools he had. But thankfully, somebody in the range tower eventually realized what was going on, and that was that I was shooting the wrong target. I was shooting my buddy's targets in the next lane over, and pop-up targets. And just in the course of things, I was hitting everything out to about 150, 200 meters. Everything beyond that, I was hitting his target. Anyway, once we got that figured out, I qualified with no problem. Shot 39 out of 40, and of course my drill sergeant took full credit for all of it, which is fine. But target identification is important regardless of any environment, whether you're on the range, in the field, or in a tactical situation. Game wardens typically don't think it's cute when you have a cow tag attached to a set of antlers that you're humping out of the woods. Oh, yeah. Shooting hostages instead of hostage takers is usually doesn't brief well, and of course we could go on. You never want blue force on blue force engagements. You want to always positively identify your target and positively identify the right target. It's been said that if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. And but it's not just a matter of aiming at something, it's making sure that we aim at the right target. Of course, the same is true in life. It's not just a matter of being true on the range or in the field or in a tactical scenario. This is true in life as well. We have to be able to know what it is we're setting out to accomplish. If we don't properly identify targets in our life, then we're going to incur some negative results, just as we would if we shot a cow instead of a bull, if we hit the bull tag, and vice versa, or if we shoot the hostage instead of the hostage taker. If we do similar things in our daily lives, then we're going to incur negative consequences. Some of y'all, I get this is kind of a new concept. Nobody loves y'all enough to let y'all know that you should be identifying targets and shooting at the right targets, or that you should have goals and set goals and aim to achieve those goals. And some of you, while this isn't a new concept, this is something that's very familiar, but you're struggling in trying to identify what those targets are that you should be shooting at. And let's face it, none of us want to engage the wrong target in our life. We all want to be successful. We all want to not only hit the target, but hit the right targets in life. I don't know of anybody who sets out in their life to fail or to just miss every target. In our last video, we talked about living a life of purpose, and we talked about how it's not so much enough just to live a life of purpose, but to live the right purpose. We don't want to get to the end of our life and realize that we've been living the wrong purpose. So we don't want to get to the end of our life and realize we've been engaging the wrong target. So how do we know? How do we know what targets we should be shooting at? Guys, how do we know, should I be shooting to be the best employee I should be? Or should I be trying to be the best dad I can be? Should I be trying to be a provider? Should I be focused on being the best husband? Or do I have to be perfect at all those? And do I have to hit center mass on every single one of those things to be able to say that I'm hitting the target? Well, what is the target that we're supposed to, in society and culture will give us all kinds of targets that they think we should be hitting. Our family can tell us what targets they think we should be shooting at, right? Well, we're inundated with what people think we should be shooting at. But here's the question for each of us have to ask: what is the target I should be shooting at? And what I want to tell you today is it's not what you think. The target we all should be shooting for is the day that we meet Jesus. I know what some of you are thinking. Here we go. You've done dropped the Jesus for me. And yes, I did. But I want you to think about this. Think about this in an eternal context. Think about it in terms of long-range planning or long-range shooting, if you will. Any of those other targets people try and give us, or you try and shoot for in this life, have a life expectancy on it. There's a deterioration clause in there, if you will, right? It's coming to an end. You can be the best dad you want to be, but guess what? Your life's going to come to an end one day. Your kid's life's going to come to an end one day. You can be the best husband. If that's the target you're shooting for, that's going to come to an end at the point that you or your spouse dies. Any of these other targets, there's going to come a point where there is an end. There's a terminal date on that thing. And so if that's the target you're hitting at, it's all going to burn up. It's all going to come to an end. The point is this: don't shoot for a target that's here on earth. The target you're trying to shoot at is not here on earth, right? Your target is not to leave a legacy for those behind you, because again, that's eventually going to burn up. Those behind you eventually are going to die. But you don't want to leave a legacy here on earth. This earth is going to come to an end one day, and if your target, the thing you were shooting for, was here, it's gone. Don't shoot for a legacy here on earth. Don't shoot for a legacy here on earth. Shoot for a legacy that is in heaven. You shoot for a legacy that's in heaven, you'll get bold. I've observed that men who shot at a target in heaven, who shot to make an impact in heaven, got a legacy there as well as here. Men like Peter, Paul, men like Calvin, men like Luther, men like Moody and Spurgeon, men like Charles Stanley, men like Billy Graham. They shot at a heavenly target. They lived their life to make an impact in heaven. They left a legacy here as well as there. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, don't lay up treasure here on earth. Lay up treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust corrupt, and where thieves don't break in and steal. Don't shoot for something. Shoot for something heaven. Paul says, I forget, in Philippians chapter 3, Paul says, forgetting what lies behind me, straining forward to what lies ahead, I press toward the mark of the high calling of Jesus Christ. Paul shot for the mark of heaven. He left an eternal impact there and here. We still feel the impact of the legacy that he left, but he left a much bigger impact and a much bigger legacy in heaven. Live your life shooting the impact eternally. God bless you.